Hello again, everyone. As always, this is Antonio, Seeking the Truth. I want to thank you again for clicking on my video and subscribing to my page. So since I started posting my own YouTube videos and sharing a lot of hidden truths that are in the Bible, and also in our society, I've had a lot of people ask me the question, what am I? Or what religion do I follow? My response has always been pretty generic, like I follow the God of the Bible and he didn't give us a religion. Now, while that's a true statement, it always left people believing that I'm, with a misunderstanding rather, that I'm a Christian just because I say I believe in the Bible. I need to specify though, I'm not a Christian. If I have to be labeled as something, then I would say that I'm a Hebrew, which means a crossed over one. According to the Bible, Abraham was the first person to be referred to as a Hebrew. This was in Genesis chapter 14, verse 13. The word Hebrew translated is Abari. In the Strong's Concordance, this is number H5680, and it means one from beyond. But if you look at the root origin of this word, it comes from the word Abar. In the Strong's, that's number 5674, which means to cross over or alienate. Hebrews were called the crossed over ones because they alienated themselves from the other nations. They were commanded to do this because the Gentiles worshiped other gods, but not the true God of the Bible. The practice of the Gentiles worshiping many other gods was called paganism. In many scriptures throughout the Bible, the Most High, which is Hebrew name being Ahaya, Ashar, Ahaya, is referred to as the God of the Hebrews, or the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. There had to be a distinction made because other nations worshipped many other gods, but Ahaya, the God of the Hebrews, was and still is the Most High power. Now, while the Hebrews served the Most High, the other nations worshiped Satan and fallen angels. Lucifer has always wanted to be like the Most High. This was mentioned in the book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verses 12 through 14. That's why when he fell from heaven, he became Satan. Not only did Satan fall, but in Revelation chapter 12, verse 4, it tells us that 1/3 of the heavenly angels will also be thrown into the lake of fire with Satan. So that leads to the understanding that at some point other angels also followed in Satan's footsteps and were also cast out of heaven. Unfortunately today, many people have been deceived into worshiping fallen angels and also even Satan himself. Today, so-called Christians believe that they are following Christ, the Son of the Most High, but in fact they are unknowingly following Satan. The title of Christ comes from the Greek word Christos. In the Strong's Concordance, this is number G5547, and it means anointed. What most people don't know is that Lucifer was once also called the anointed cherub. This can be found in Ezekiel chapter 28, verses 11 through 19. So to be a Christian means to be a follower of Christ, or the follower of the anointed one. But which anointed ones do Christians really serve? See, Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12 tells us that Satan rules the flesh of this earth. So if you don't read the Bible from a Hebrew understanding, then you can be easily misled into believing lies and false doctrines. In Acts chapter 11, verse 26, it was the Romans who first labeled the Hebrews as Christians. Romans needed to be labeled because they were the followers of the true Christ, and they were becoming a growing problem to Rome. It's now known that Rome was actually the fourth beast that was mentioned in Daniel chapter 7, verse 23. Now here are some key points that we know about Rome. Rome was a country full of pagans that worshiped multiple false gods. Rome crucified the true Christ, Yeshua. Rome was one of 3 countries that created America, which is the little horn that is mentioned in Daniel chapter 7, verse 24. Rome was the one that gave us the false image of Christ, which is really Pope Alexander VI's son, Cesare Borgia. Rome changed the holy day of worship from the 7th day of the week to the 1st. The Roman Catholic Church is a dominating force that has inspired and funded all theologian schools and churches in America. And to put it plainly, Rome is evil to its core, and yet they are the ones that single-handedly built Christianity. So that's why Christians today, whether knowingly or not, are merely pagans in disguise. They still worship many false gods. By believing in the Trinity, they worship the spirit of Nimrod, Semiramis, and Tammuz. This was the Babylonian Trinity. By celebrating Christmas, they worship Zeus and Mithra. Zeus, or Jesus rather, in Latin means hail Zeus or praise Zeus. Mithra was the god of the sun that was also born on December 25th. By celebrating Easter, they worship the fertility goddess Ishtar. Those that call on any name associated with the Tetragrammaton like Yahweh or Jehovah are worshiping Baal, and Baal is synonymous with Satan. So every last one of these gods can be linked directly to Satan himself, along with many others. After speaking with a lot of Christians, some will try to argue with me saying that the laws of God have been done away with since Yeshua died on the cross. They're completely wrong when it comes to this, but regardless, every Christian still believes that we're supposed to follow the 10 Commandments, which are listed in Exodus, the 20th chapter. Now, the first 4 commandments are probably the most important because those are the ones that deal directly with the Most High. And yet, every single Christian breaks all 4 of those commandments because of their religion. Let's see, the first commandment, you shall have no other gods before me. I just listed off 8 different gods that Christians serve and worship, and none of them have anything to do with the true God of the Hebrews, Ahia. The second commandment, you shall not make for yourselves a carved image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water underneath the earth. You shall not bow down to them, nor serve them. So right there, Christians bow down and serve many false idols. We idolize the cross. We idolize the false image of Christ. This carved image of Christ hanging on a cross. Angels, that is a likeness to something in heaven. And Catholics actually pray to Mary. All these are breaking the second commandment. The third commandment, you shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain. The word vain in Hebrew is shav, and the Strong's is number H7723, and it means empty, nothingness, or worthless. Christians make the Most High's name vain because they don't even know what his name is. By not using and honoring his name, you're making his name empty and worthless. The Most High's name is Ahia, Ashar, Ahia. The fourth commandment, remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. Christians don't even recognize the correct Sabbath. If you read the rest of the commandment, it tells us that the Sabbath is the 7th day of the week. That's Saturday. Sunday was the day that the Romans celebrated because they worshiped the god of the sun. That's why it's called Sunday. So that right there, those are the first 4 commandments of the Bible that every Christian says that we all should follow, but yet every Christian breaks. Now, I know that many of you watching this are Christians and that you have been your whole lives, just like I was. So my word of caution to all of you is stop being deceived. Wake up to the truth. Christianity is a lie straight from Satan that was forced on us by Romans, in which Romans were in the Bible the 4th beast that was prophesied to trample and conquer the world, which they have done. Be a Hebrew. Alienate yourselves from the evil of this world. Follow the truth of the Bible and praise the Most High, Ahia, Ashar, Ahia, and his son, Yeshua, and the Holy Spirit, Rawak. Once again, I want to thank everybody for watching. Please subscribe to my page and always remember to seek the truth.